Hello and welcome to this installment of Talkin Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we are looking at the windscreen kit for the Triumph TR4 up until the TR6 models. So that includes obviously the TR4, the TR4A, TR5, TR250 and TR6. And what we've got here is a few variants of different kits and options that you can do with a bit more information to guide you through it effectively. So obviously what we've got here in the centre is a actual windscreen frame. It's from a TR6, stripped down to its bare composite as it were. And then we've got the moulded black plastic elements that were actually used to originally trim the windscreen frame, albeit they're aftermarket versions and not the originals. And then we've got our retrim kit, which is material cut to shape to retrim over the top of either your originals or aftermarket units. And then we've got an example of a trimmed up set of them in bright red leather. So let's start with the actual moulded units. So originally they were moulded plastic, as per. They've got a subtle grain to it and obviously the shape to allow for the fitment around here. Now this one obviously has the slits on the bottom, there we are, sorry, on the bottom edge there, which obviously allow for these fitment brackets to slide through. The left here obviously has they all have their lips on to allow for going over the top of it. Sometimes you want a bit of gentle heat to help warp it into shape, etc. Then some good contact adhesive to put it down. The top section, same principle again. And then obviously the right one there is exactly the same as the left one, just a mirror image. Obviously the area we're talking about here is this very bottom section here, then it's the left, the right, and then across the top, which you can't see. So that's the moulded plastic. Now originally they were always black. The whole of the dash area on these TR4s and 6s were always black. So standardly obviously our retrim kits, which is material cut to size, 4 pieces, is normally always black, but of course we can offer it in colours if you want. So effectively the choice you've got when it comes to materials is vinyl or leather. Obviously remembering with leather we can offer grained or smooth. And then obviously colours wise, most people go for black to match the main trim. Sorry, the main trim at the front of the car, which is black, the dash area and console area. But obviously if you're changing any of that front area, then we do recommend that you change this as well, because then it all ties in and looks absolutely superb, which is what we're doing with this red kit here. Gentleman over in America has sent us his aftermarket moulded plastics, and then we've retrimmed them up in our in our bright red grained leather. So you can see, nice grain to it. Now, obviously the leather we skived down on our in-house leather skiving machine. So you can see how thin it's gone there to allow for nice fitment into it. So it's nice and skived down then, because you've got to remember as well that the sort of rubbers have got to go over the top of these when fitting it all into the car and whatnot. So you've got to be making an allowance for the thickness side of things, but our skiving machine allows for that, which is great. So yeah, not much more to really mention on this. It's worth noting as well, obviously the tops and the sides where they meet, you want to make a decision about what overlaps what. We're going with the concept that the bottom and the tops overlap the sides. And so what we've done, I'm not going to be able to do it very well one-handed, but if that's roughly in place there, you can see that we have cut that material flush to the edge, whereas this material we have turned over, and that means that this side piece here will go on the bottom and then that will sit on top, and so the edge that you're going to see a little bit of will be the turned over edge, which keeps it nice and clean and tidy. So that's the general concept of those there. I think that's about it. Yeah, so you've got a few options. Obviously what we sell the most of is the retrim kits, but if you wanted us to supply you with the moulded plastics if yours are knackered, or if you wanted us to trim up your originals if they've survived the test of time, or your aftermarket ones, send them to us and we can retrim them for you using all of our machinery and expertise over this side. Yeah, I think that's probably about it. Hope you found it useful. Please remember to like, subscribe and share with other classic car enthusiasts, and I'll see you next time.